Hey, what's up, guys? Coming back at let you guys know a little bit more about like how the rest of my time went. So I ended up after my 3rd week. That was after I had gone to my doctor and got my the gabapentin for my leg pain and stuff like that. Well, as I left off the other video, my first video, like I said, ending on my week 3, I still had some sort of leg pain. So I was going into my week 4. And on my week 4, this is the week before Christmas. We get to that Monday and my pain starts to go up a little, So when it does start to go up, it's becoming to a point where I don't feel like it's real. Like it's not, I can't sustain this type of leg pain for quite a while. So leading on to that week, I ended up having really bad leg pain the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, which was, I think, I'm not sure if it was maybe the 20th or whatever. I think it was the 20th. I had really bad leg pain, like to a point where it was excruciating. I could not sleep. It was just, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lay. I mean, I was in pain. My pain was at over a 10 out of 10. Really bad. So that's kind of where that ended up on a Wednesday. So that Wednesday night, my wife had a call. She called the doctor and kind of explained to them what's going on. And by then, she had put in an order to give me some sort of pills or something to try to get me through the week. Now, mind you, I have an appointment with my neurologist on the Tuesday after Christmas. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm about 5-6 days away from having my appointment. I could talk to him then. I felt like everything was going, well, not normal, because like I said, I was feeling, it was horrible. But I was still thinking at the same time, this is part of the process. That, because I'm reading all these things on Google and they're not really explaining much besides the fact that I am going to be feeling all this stuff. So, but again, at the same point, I kept telling my wife, like, you know what? This is not something, you can't sustain this type of pain. I was in pain. Like, it was horrible. And I know, you know, what we kind of go through. I know what you're kind of putting our wives through. So they ended up calling me back from the doctor's office, and they told me, hey, you know what? That by this time they felt like I should be kind of up and walking and doing my normal stuff, basic stuff, you know, getting in the vehicle and all the last stuff. And I told them that no, I've been in bed the entire time. Even after they gave me the pills, that was pretty much in bed the entire time. I mean, I couldn't get out of bed, but I was in pain in bed. So they prescribed me, I forgot what it is. I put on the bottom, I think it was like Cyclo something. But she did say, you know what? She did say that if my pain does not go away by Friday morning, so you're talking about from Wednesday to Friday. I'm looking at the dates here, and I'm looking at, that would be on the 20th. So she said, you know what? By the 22nd in the morning, if it's this December, she said, if you're still feeling leg pain, she said, I should not feel pain. She said, I can feel stuff, just not pain. She said, pain, that should be, like I said, it should be kind of, almost like kind of gone, you know, not to a point, you know, where like I'm in the pain that I'm describing to her. So I said, okay, I'll wait till Friday morning. So my wife that Wednesday night, she goes and picks up my prescription. I started taking it. And again, that night, I slept horrible. Like, it was just, it was a horrible night. But Thursday morning comes up. I'm still in bed. I mean, I'm feeling my legs so bad. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It's like, it's horrible. But I'm still there. I'm still hoping that, you know what, by Friday morning, like she had told me the day before on the phone, she said, hey, if this happens by Friday morning, your leg is still the way you're describing it, we're gonna have to get you a rush images or something, you know, because she said at this point she doesn't feel like it's normal. So I said, okay. So this is Thursday, and so my wife, I'm talking to my wife, she's like, hey, how's the pain? I said, yeah. I'm like, it's the same. There's nothing's changing. It's the same as that Wednesday. So finally, I had a pretty bad episode that Thursday afternoon. I started having a pretty horrible episode. That then, like I said, my kid kind of noticed me being kind of like in pain, and that to me is kind of what drew it. Like, okay, you know what, I'm in pain. But at this point, I'm having the kind of hopes that, you know, all I gotta do is wait for Friday morning, and the girl's gonna have to send me to go get a re-image or something, just something. At this point, I know for sure, at least in my mind, that this is not normal. There's no way in hell you can tell me this is normal. I am in excruciating pain, and this is not normal anymore. No matter what I've read at that point, up to that point in Google, that I've had read that people were going out for months, you know, with type of pain, you know, and they can go out for 6 months before that. But this, I'm like, this is past leg pain. This is the point where I can't even get out of bed. So people are, you know, lasting a month or 2 months with this pain. I knew this wasn't the type that they were going through. So I'm in pretty bad shape at this point. And so finally my wife comes in late, you know, about to go bedtime, and realizes that I'm in bad shape. At this point, I'm kind of hiding it from everybody because, you know, trying to hide it from the kids, trying to hide it from everyone. Yeah, I'm in horrible shape. I'm in bad shape, but you can only hide so much that by the time my wife came in, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I broke down a little bit to a point where I know there's nothing to do. So the first thing she says, we're gonna go to the ER. And I'm not sure if you guys are just like me out there, but the ER sucks. And I mean that, it sucks. And I don't know how else to say it. I've been in there at least quite enough times where I'm sure people are out there watching, all they want to do is pump you with drugs and get you out of it. So I did not want to go to the ER. I already know how hard it is in the ER to do all this, and they don't do nothing, you know. So I'm like, I didn't want to go. So since I didn't want to go, my wife was looking at me like, well, we gotta go, you know, like there's nothing we can do. We gotta go. I kept saying no, and I didn't want to go to the ER. I'm sorry, I didn't want to go to. And at this point, I'm way past fed up. But I'm in bad pain. That when I saw it started affecting her, and that 1 hour that this is like 9 o'clock at night. That 1 hour I saw her it affected her pretty bad. That at that point I kind of knew, okay, you know what? Regardless if I want to go to the ER or not, I'm gonna end up in the ER. Experiencing pretty much anything else like that, but took some word from my sister-in-law. Told my wife, hey, you know what? Call the 24-hour hotline for my neurologist, and maybe get the surgeon on the phone, get a hold of him, and see what's going on. Like I said in my previous video, at this point he knows that I'm having problems with my legs just prior to that. So I'm hoping that kind of banks off. So we didn't think about that. So my wife finally said, you know what? She did. She called. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I think that was the best thing that ever came up. Sister-in-law actually helped us out really huge on that one, because after my wife made the phone call, it was within minutes that we got a phone call from she said she was gonna get a hold of my doctor. So then as soon as she did that, and I'm talking about, it was within minutes that we got a phone call from my doctor, from my doctor. So my wife answers, and she said, hey, same thing's going on. He kind of understood, and it was within minutes after that where he told my wife, hey, you take him to the ER. They was gonna call the ER to let them know that I'm on my way, that he's ordering me a CAT scan. And at first I said I couldn't do an MRI, but well, close to 4 weeks post-op. So he said my screws in, I couldn't do an MRI. So he set up a CAT scan, and I'm like, fine. So we ended up going to the ER. Sister-in-law came in, took care of my kids, and we took off. Well, my sister-in-law's my niece came over and took care of the kids, and we took off. And sure enough, we took off. We get to the ER, and you know, we got there. Still 40 minutes that we lasted in the ER, but once we got in there, there was a difference between that experience and the other experience. Because I was like, we get in there, and it was within, I'm not gonna lie, maybe two hours from the time we actually got into an actual room. You're talking about midnight at this point. So they got us a CAT scan. So we got the CAT scan done, and it came back, and that was within about maybe an hour afterwards, an hour and a half afterwards. You're still talking about 3 in the morning-ish, so around there. The nurse comes in and says that I'm gonna be getting a phone call from my doctor. Cool. At this point, my wife had already looked on to see if there was any updates on my CAT scan, and she had found on there, it said that another nerve was pinched. The same kind of nerve, I guess, was going down, but it got caught somewhere on the bottom of where like they did my fusion. Somehow, some way, somewhere around there. So I get the phone call from my doctor, and he says, hey, he says, very rare. He goes, but your nerve is stuck underneath, like, I forgot exactly how he described it, but he says it's slightly grabbing on. He goes, but it's stuck. So I mean, it's pretty much, it's stuck somewhere, it's pinched. He goes, we will have to go in there and do a laminectomy. I was like, same as last year. I had the same laminectomy last year. But now he said, he goes, but they're gonna have to go do an MRI regardless of the screws. And I asked him, I'm like, well, now I thought the screws could do it. He says they need to get more detailed. So I had to. So now within the hour after that, I was in the middle of doing my MRI. Get the MRI done. I come back, and it's literally within the hour. My doctor, they kind of told me that I'm gonna be going into surgery within the next couple of hours. So this all happened super fast. So we get there, and we ended up doing the laminectomy. So I was there they let me out the same day, and that was, I think, just due to more for the fact there wasn't any other room. So I had to kind of pass, after the laminectomy was done, I had to pass a certain things before they would let me go home. But I did not want to stay in I guess in the recovery room, because there were no actual rooms available. So I did that. I did pass it, so I ended up going home late that day, very late that day. But I was okay. I mean, I didn't feel that much on my legs, so I was okay with that. So now preparing, I got home finally, you know, the Friday before Christmas. I'm home, I'm happy. And yeah, so my leg pain did kind of go down, but I did notice one thing, that within the 2 days after that, during Christmas time, because on Christmas Eve, I'm in there, and I kind of shaved a little bit because I was kind of getting scruffy, and I noticed again, I started feeling leg pain, same side, same everything, and it dawned on me, what, like, something's going on here. And I told my wife, and my wife said, what's going on? Like, I don't know, but whatever, that happened, and it kind of went up a little bit, spiked up, and then it went kind of right back down. But I felt it, and then I was in the shower, and I noticed again, I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I went in my hair, I noticed, oh my God, I feel that leg pain. Not excruciating, just kind of felt it. And I was like, I told my wife again, something's going on. So she looks at me almost like with that look, like, don't start with this leg pain thing. At this point, we're fed up, and I'm fed up, and I'm pretty sure she's fed up because she's dealing with me. But that's just kind of how that went. So I noticed a couple days later, this is still before New Year's, I ended up, and that's when I posted up at when I recorded that video, that I ended up getting my hair cut. Well, that day I came back again, and I kind of retrained myself just a little bit, and I realized the same pain is going on, like the same shooting pain down my leg. Felt uncomfortable, so I'm like, it's not, something's wrong, like something's weird. And that's when I realized, all those 3 times, that was including the haircut and me showering to touch my hair, that was when I lifted my elbows up, which is weird, because it was kind of up. So I'm like, there's got to be something really tight there, because I'm like, you know, I'm not sure how that works, but it all happened when I lifted up my arm. So I stopped, like, you know what, I'm gonna try to go a couple days without doing it, and I felt fine. So for the next couple weeks, that's just kind of how it was. And I shaved right before going back to work, and I noticed that when I lifted my arm, it was still, I could feel it. So at that point, I already knew it's when I'm lifting my arm, something's tugging up in there. The one thing I noticed that was good, that I wasn't in excruciating pain anymore. I just only that time when I was lifting up my arms, where I would feel that little minor, like, discomfort. But I did notice, yeah, I was finally eating. I gained a few pounds. But at this point, like I said, after going through all that, I'm still kind of having doubts in my head, like, man, this is not gonna go that good, because I'm still feeling that leg pain. I'm like, you know what, it's kind of how people say, well, don't lift your arms, it's kind of, one of those type of answers where it's like, it's not the arm thing, it's anything. Like I said, I didn't realize the shower was me lifting the arm. Different type of things. It was kind of just not really stretching, but just kind of putting my hand over in a table, so stuff like that. So at this point, I'm figuring out I'm gonna go back to work. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself that this pain is gonna be there for a while, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be there for a long time. Like I said, I'm kind of nervous at this point, but like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to make it work, whether that's with the pills or not pills, or not lifting up. So that's my story, man, from pretty much the last 2 weeks prior to going back to work. I was hoping to go back to work on New Year's Day, but that's when the doctor told me, hey, you know what, after your laminectomy, then I gotta take 2 weeks completely off, which I did, which is fine. And but like I said, the pain was not fun, but other than that, it is what it is. So I went to work. I'm going back to work on Monday, so we'll see. That's January 8th will be my first day back to work. So I'm like I said, I'm excited, and I'll let you guys know how it went. But that is my last 3 weeks before I went back to work. They weren't fun, man. It was not fun. It was a lot of roller coasters, but somehow we made it. So I'm hoping other people out there have better stories. But in case you guys don't see something like that, that was my story, at least for that part, to get back to work. So I'm sure I'm not the only one out there, but if there's some people out there more like me, it's getting better. I'll let you guys know the rest. But that's what I got for now, guys. All right, I'll see you guys on the next video, and that'll be my first day back to work. So All right, guys. So I'll see you guys in a bit. So see you guys, everybody.